If you want to be transported to the beach, then this is for you. So let's review Maison Margiela's Beach Walk. Hey, what's good guys? Hunter here and welcome back to the channel where I upload weekly fragrance content, so you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button down below and also make sure to follow me over on my Instagram page. So today we are reviewing one of the first releases from Maison Margiela, especially within the replica line, which I wasn't aware of, is a Beach Walk. And I'm so excited to be bringing this review to you guys because I'm a big fan of the replica line, especially like by the fireplace, which is a must have for like the winter time. Jazz Club is another great one. A Beach Walk, for some reason, always went under the radar for me, and I'm honestly not really sure why, but I do want to shout out Maison Margiela for sending this one over for review. Of course, that's not going to change my opinions about the fragrance. If I enjoy the fragrance, I enjoy it, and if I don't, I don't, and I'll keep it 100% honest with you guys. Let's go over some information now. Beach Walk was launched in 2012. Like I said, it was one of the first launches in the replica line, I believe alongside like Flower Market and a few others that launched also in 2012. For the retail price, on the two sizes you can get this in, the first is a 30 ml like I have in hand for $85, or you can get the 100 ml for $165, which I honestly think is pretty expensive for what they are, because at the end of the day, Maison Margiela is a designer house. These are not niche fragrances, which some people might get those confused. I remember the first time I got my bottle of By the Fireplace around 4 years ago. I got a 100 ml bottle for around $120 at retail. So these fragrance prices are just skyrocketed in price, guys. And when it comes to the concentration, these are an eau de toilette concentration, which is on the lower scale of things, of course, lower than like an eau de parfum or an extrait de parfum, which is also another reason why these are a little bit more expensive than what they should be, especially when it comes to the concentration and being a designer house. I think for that $165, they should start making these like an eau de parfum, but then they would have to reformulate it, etc. And heck, if they do start coming up with like flankers of these for like eau de parfums or extrait de parfums or elixirs, they'll probably be well over the $200 mark. The perfumers behind Beach Walk are two master perfumers. The first is my favorite perfumer of all time, Jacques Vallier. You might recognize that name, especially if you watch my reviews, because he is the in-house perfumer for Louis Vuitton, which is actually my favorite designer house of all time. And then you also do have Marie Salomon, which is a well-known perfumer with a huge resume. So you do know two masters went behind a Beach Walk. All the information out of the way, let's look at the packaging and presentation you will get with Maison Margiela's Beach Walk now. So take a look at the bottle, which unfortunately I only have the bottle of this one. I don't have the box. And with the 30 ml I have in hand is a lot smaller than I was expecting. So be aware of that if you do get a bottle of this one. But it is identical to the 100 ml when it comes to the bottle design. Of course, on the front you have a replica, which just replicates kind of scenarios and sceneries with their fragrances, which is very unique. You also have Sun-Kissed Salty Skin, which is the product description, which it does kind of smell like Memory in a Fragrance, Maison Margiela Paris. On the bottom, you will have your sticker with your information and batch code to authenticate your product and see when it was produced. Nothing on the back. On the front of it, you do have this kind of fabric ribbon wrapped around the atomizer, and there is no cap with this one. In the top, you have bergamot, lemon, and pink pepper. In the mid, you have ylang ylang, coconut milk, and heliotrope. And in the base, you have musk, benzoin, and cedarwood, and this will be classified as a sweet fresh. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Honestly, not the best atomizer. I've always been kind of disappointed with these. I wish they would have upgraded them, but it is what it is, not really the biggest deal. So let's go ahead and remind myself of this classic Beach Walk now. So right away upon applying a Beach Walk, the first thing you're going to detect is going to be that very bright, citrusy, zesty bergamot note, which is the dominant note in the opening above the lemon and the pink pepper. Honestly, I'm not really getting any pink pepper at all to my nose. There's nothing really spicy about this at all. Just very bright and citrusy. As we make our way into the mid, which comes very quick, that bergamot doesn't last that long at all, is when you're going to be greeted with this very tropical, milky coconut that kind of gives off this suntan lotion vibe, kind of like what the name describes with the sun-kissed salty skin. That's the vibe this gives off with that coconut note. Just very suntanish kind of vibe from it. that smells like you're laying out by the pool, laying out by the beach, just baking in the sun and getting a tan. So if you love fragrances that kind of give off that sunscreen vibe, then you're gonna love Beach Walk. It will be right up your alley. Along with that coconut note, you are gonna get this very fresh, tropical ylang ylang, which kind of gives off this banana nuance to it. And ylang ylang comes from a tree that's based in a tropical environment. So through and through, this is a very vacation-y, tropical fragrance. A heliotrope, I'm not really detecting that much to my nose. The coconut and the ylang ylang just kind of takes over combined together. Also kind of mixed in with that citrusy bergamot. So through and through, very citrusy, tropical, milky, and extremely fresh. And then finally, once the base comes through, it's when you're going to be left with just this very clean, soft, musky note. And it's not going to be like a dirty animalic musk at all. It's more so just like maybe if you're swimming in the ocean for a while, you got that kind of a suntan lotion on. That's the kind of vibe it gives off. Maybe even a little bit salty, which surprised me. And I'm not getting any of the benzoin or anything woody whatsoever in the base of here, just a soft, clean white musk. So if you are looking for a fragrance that would be perfect on a hot, sunny day, or if you're just going on vacation, you want something to kind of capture that vibe, Beach Walk is gonna be for you. So for the best seasons to rock Beach Walk, if you do decide to get a bottle, for me primarily, this is strictly a summertime only fragrance, which is kind of rare to have because most fragrances are suited for like spring, summer, fall, or winter. This one though, for me at least, is just going to be for the summertime. Maybe even only if I'm going on vacation or something along those lines will be the only time I really rock this one, because it's not suited for really like the fall and winter at all. There's nothing that screams cold weather about this. Primarily only if you're going on vacation, laying out by the beach, laying out by the pool. That would be the best time to wear a Beach Walk. And when it comes to the occasion with this one, I think it does definitely lean more on the casual side. If you're just kind of lounging out, maybe grabbing some lunch if you're somewhere tropical, maybe going up to like a beach bar, something like that, wearing clothes, kind of like what I'm wearing now, a nice kind of Hawaiian shirt, a summery shirt, some shorts, flip-flops. That's the kind of occasion and attire I think suits this one the best. There's nothing really formal, classy, or sophisticated about it. Even though at the end of the day, if you are going to something like maybe if you're going somewhere tropical for a wedding or something along those lines, you can absolutely still pull it off. It is kind of versatile, but it definitely does lean more on the kind of casual, fun, chill vibe. And when it comes to gender, just like the entire replica line is targeted as unisex, I believe back in the day they did actually describe like male fragrance, female fragrance, or unisex, but they did away with that, which is definitely a smart move because all fragrances at the end of the day are unisex. However, some lean feminine, some lean masculine. In this case, which Beach Walk, I think this one definitely is unisex, leaning on the feminine side. Probably even a little bit too feminine for my liking, and I do wear some feminine fragrances, but this one just leans a little bit too far on that side. And I did actually have a coworker that used to wear this one, and every time I was around her, I was basically like teleported somewhere warm and tropical, which was awesome. It just goes to show, yeah, I kind of picture a woman wearing this much more than a man. That's why when it comes to like the seasons, I said I would primarily only wear this one if I'm going on vacation. Like this is the kind of fragrance you take with you. If you're traveling somewhere like warm and tropical, that's the only time I will ever reach for this. Just because even on a daily in the summer, I'm not really that comfortable wearing this. So if you are a woman watching this one, you want something tropical and smells like suntan lotion, absolutely rock a Beach Walk. Also for the guys out there, if you do like this kind of scent profile, you can easily wear it as well if you're comfortable with it. And when it comes to age groups, it kind of goes along with what everything I'm saying. I think this is a little bit more youthful rather than mature. This kind of smells like a fragrance targeted maybe for someone in the early 20s, mid 20s, kind of like just traveling, having fun out by the beach. It's kind of a playful, fun summertime fragrance that does lean youthful. But that doesn't mean if you are a little bit older, you know, 30s, 40s and up, you cannot rock this. You absolutely can. Because no fragrance really has an age group. I'm just trying to paint you guys the best picture on what I detect and what I'm smelling and who I think it's best suited for. And I just absolutely kind of picture somebody a little bit younger wearing this one the best. I'll wrap the review off talking on the performance you should expect when you get a bottle of Beach Walk. Now, like I said earlier, this is an eau de toilette concentration, which means it doesn't really have the highest of concentration when it comes to perfume oils in it, which in in most cases mean it's not going to last the longest. With this, however, I still did get below average performance around possibly that 6-hour mark of longevity. And to be honest with you, that 6-hour mark is pushing it a little bit. Don't really expect this thing to perform like all day long above that 6-hour mark, because it's really not going to give that to you. Where it makes up from being a little bit below average in the longevity is with the projection, because this stuff projects heavy. It's a very loud projector, especially for the first couple hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours, until it starts to kind of come a little bit closer to your skin up to that 6-hour mark. But trust me, when you apply this stuff up to 3 hours, everybody around you is going to smell this. Like I said, I had a coworker, when she wore this, it was so strong and heavy, and I think she only sprayed a few times. Most of the time when it comes to EDT concentrations, they project heavy for a couple hours but don't last the longest, because what makes a fragrance project is the alcohol percentage in a fragrance. That kind of proves that theory right there with a beach water, because like I said, everybody's gonna smell you, which is also another reason why I'm not really the most comfortable wearing this one, at least on a daily basis. But I will say, this is the kind of fragrance that if you're just like going to work or something, it absolutely lifts your mood, because you'll be at work smelling like you're on a beach somewhere. But that's gonna do it for my review of Maison Margiela's a beach walk. Let me know down below if you have any experience with this fragrance, and if you do, what are your thoughts on it? And also recommend me any of your favorite fragrances from Maison Margiela. They do have a lot now. They keep making more and more, so leave that down below. Maybe I'll get to a review of it. But besides that, guys, leave a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and of course I'll catch all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.